in our mid-20s. Hangovers were brutal but recoverable. Every trip ended up with greasy food, sore backs, and stories that we'd never tell our mothers. Amanda liked to drive. She said it helped her feel in control. I didn't mind. I liked being the co-pilot, scrolling through playlists, reading old printed out directions from MapQuest, or watching the little TomTom GPS freak out when we took another wrong turn. Later, we upgraded to smartphones, which made travel a lot smoother at first. What used to be us just sticking to the big highways and familiar exits turned into a game. Who could find the fastest shortcut, the weirdest detour, the most backwoods route that shaved off 20 minutes? We'd zoom in on the map, pick some obscure little offshoot that looped around a mountain or snaked through farmland and give it a go. Usually, we'd end up on a gravel road surrounded by cornfields or pass through towns with one gas station and no stoplights. Sometimes it was a bust and we'd backtrack half an hour. Other times it was magic, like when we found that speakeasy in Kentucky just by chasing a shortcut off I-64. We always felt like we were onto something, like real explorers. But that one trip through West Virginia, that one changed the game. That was the one that soured us on the shortcuts. I can still remember Amanda tapping on the screen and saying, "This'll save us at least 90 minutes. Look." County Road 217 cuts right through the hills and drops us off into Charleston from the north. And I said, yeah, sure, why not? Let's roll. And God, do I wish I would have said no. The road narrowed fast. We were only 10 or 15 minutes into the shortcut, and already the shoulder had disappeared. The paint on the asphalt was mostly gone now. We hadn't seen another vehicle since we turned off the highway. I held the phone in my lap, tapping to zoom in on the blue line that we were following. Amanda had both hands on the wheel, sunglasses sliding down her nose as she squinted into the sun. "You sure this is right?" she asked me. "Yeah," I said. "Cuts 90 minutes, comes out just west of Charleston. We skipped 3 mountain curves and a whole mess of Sunday traffic." Amanda made a face. "It just looks empty." "It's fine," I said, even though I was starting to feel a twitch in my gut. The map showed a bunch of little townships along this stretch, like stepping stones through the hills. Burnwood, Cardham, Ebb Hollow. But so far, nothing. No towns, no houses, no signs of life, just endless turns through dry pines and crests over that gave way more to the same. The road dropped into a valley and kicked up a cloud of dust as we passed a rotting billboard for Guthrie's world-famous smoked meats. The thing was bullet-pocketed and hanging on by a single corner. Amanda didn't say anything, but I could tell she was just as put off as I was. We passed a cluster of old trailers that looked long abandoned, a busted-out sedan half swallowed up by the weeds, a barn with its roof peeled off like a sardine can. I felt my stomach knot tighter. "I think these towns are dead," I said, and Amanda glanced over at me. "Huh?" "Boomtowns, maybe, mining or rail. They're still on the map, but they haven't been towns in decades now." I could see her chew that over, then she shook her head. "You want to turn around?" We were 25 minutes in by then, and I stared at the screen. The shortcut was almost halfway done. "Nah," I muttered. "Let's just keep going. We might as well finish it now." Amanda nodded, but she didn't smile again after that. The road narrowed again and curved through this shallow ravine. On either side there were husks of buildings, clapboard houses gutted by fires, a post office with ivy growing through its windows, a school bus with no wheels, and a family of crows nesting on the roof. We passed this old wooden sign that said Burnwood Pop 214. Then below that, spray painted in red, "Not anymore." I think that should have been the moment that I said screw it and called it, but I still didn't do it. I told Amanda that we were probably close to the other side, maybe another 10 miles, maybe 15. That wasn't a lie. I just didn't want to admit that I'd made a bad call. A few miles later, just when the gas light blinked on and Amanda let out this sharp shit, we saw it. Hattie Springs. A crooked white sign marked the entrance, displaying the rusted chains. The town itself was better preserved than the others. Buildings with full roofs, intact windows, and a main drag that ran straight through. No trash, no graffiti, and cars parked along the curbs like residents had just stepped inside for lunch. But there was nobody outside. We rolled past this small diner with an open sign. A A barbershop, an insurance office, a church with no name. Not one single person. No movement, no sound. Just the soft roll of our tires and Amanda whispering, "This is weird." "Yeah, I know," I responded. "Just keep driving." We were maybe halfway through the town when the engine did that little gurgle sound that it does before it runs completely dry. "We're not gonna make it," Amanda said, panic creeping up into her voice. And then, as if on cue, a gas station appeared in the corner. Small, squat, old school. There's two pumps and a little shack of a building beside them. There was a man out front. He looked to be in his early 30s, thin as a wire, wearing a sweat-darkened flannel and faded jeans. His hair was long and yellow-white, tied back into this greasy ponytail. He was sweeping something off the concrete. As we pulled in, he leaned the broom up against the wall and turned towards us with a grin. Amanda eased her window down. "Y'all just passing through?" His voice was thick with that mountain drawl, every word dragging. Yeah," Amanda said. "We're headed west. Took a shortcut." He laughed. "A lot of folks do that. GPS will send you to all kinds of ways out here. Usually come in thinking there's more to see. Usually the same thing, too." "What's that?" I asked him. He shrugged. "That the place don't look right." Amanda handed him a 20. "We just need enough to make it to Charleston." He nodded and started pumping gas. We watched him through the side mirror. I didn't want to look around, but I did. And what I saw chilled me more than anything yet. Behind the diner window, two faces staring out. Not blinking, not moving, just watching. Across the street, in a curtained upstairs window, a silhouette. Broad shoulders, head tilted like it was trying to listen. Another window, and another. All of them still, and all of them focused directly on us. They didn't look off enough to scream like horror movie style. They weren't mutants or monsters, they were just off. Like they'd been raised up in a place where both daylight and manners weren't commonplace. The man finished, he capped the tank and came back around, handing Amanda her receipt with a look that I won't forget. "You girls are lucky," he said. Amanda blinked. "What?" "Coming through during sunup," he said. "Most folks come after dark, and when they do, they don't get to leave." He let that sentence hang there like a noose. Then he smiled and tapped the roof of the car. "Y'all drive safe now." "What do you mean by that?" The guy just winked. "Best get going," is all he said. "Unless you want to stay and feel some southern hospitality." The guy then licked his chapped lips. We didn't wait. Amanda peeled out of there like she was chasing God himself. The road out of Hadley Springs curved hard to the left, then pitched upward through this series of hills and seemed to go on forever and ever. He didn't talk. Amanda's knuckles were white over